Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports with myself, Liam Jenkins, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again, if you're new to this channel and you do enjoy this sort of content, it would be amazing if you could leave a like and hit that subscribe button. We're this close to 15,000 and it will be amazing if you could join our community. Talking of which, we do have an official Discord server where you can connect with new Eagles fans, be part of some of our exciting projects here at Philly Sports Network, make new friends and really just be part of this community that we're trying to build. It'd be amazing to have you on board. I mean, the week started out well enough, didn't it, for the Philadelphia Eagles, that they extended Lane Johnson to a brand new contract extension, making him the highest paid tackle in NFL history. The Cowboys then decide to give the Eagles a Thanksgiving gift by going out, playing the Buffalo Bills at home and laying an absolute egg. It was the perfect Thanksgiving gift for Eagles fans everywhere. They sat at home with a nice beer, a bit of pizza, just a nice sigh of relief that all is well again. And now with the easiest remaining schedule in the NFL, surely nothing could go wrong. Just to add salt in the wounds, the Eagles also had Captain Cravon back off IR. Surely someone that could make an impact in the defensive secondary. Secondary that had caught fire over recent weeks. A defense that had caught fire over recent weeks. They were going into Miami to face the 2-9 Dolphins, a team that ranked 31st defensively, 30th offensively. They're just atrocious all around. Surely they couldn't mess this up. So where do we even begin with this game? It was an absolute mess from start to finish. I think the worrying part is that there is so much wrong with this team that you don't even know where to start, and therefore it has to start at the top with the coaching staff down. It's infuriating because on paper we knew how powerful and how good this roster could be. We knew that coming into this game, this should be a given. And all we've heard for weeks now from Doug Peterson is that the Eagles control their own destiny, that there's time, that they're trending in the right direction. And frankly, if they're controlling their own destiny, I would be terrified to leave my destiny in their hands, because somehow it will be even more of a train wreck than it already is. If your sentiment each week is that it's down to us and we control our own destiny, then what are you doing? Where's the accountability? And that starts at the top. You've got Doug Peterson, who faces the 31st ranked run defense, has Jay Ajayi in the fold, has Miles Sanders averaging 4.7 yards per carry, and then going into halftime against the Dolphins with a sizable lead, decide to just abandon the run. There's no point running the ball anymore. There's no point trying to control possession and dictate the tempo of the game and taking the pressure off Carson Wentz. Let's just pass it all the time, deep downfield, and get Wentz rolling out every time without runs that work with play action. That's the whole point. It works because you're running the ball. You have 19 running attempts and 46 passing attempts in a game where you had a massive lead. 28-14 lead and you don't run the ball. Like, why? After the Dolphins bizarrely decided to kick an onside kick, the Eagles converted for a touchdown, took advantage of it, and had a 28-14 lead with pretty much the entire second half to go. And it's easy for everyone to say, oh, Liam, the offense actually looked good and they caught fire and they did score points and that's been the problem. Yeah, but in context, they scored 2 of them that put them down in the red zone. That's 14 points right there. You had 2 field goals from Jake Elliott, and outside of that, one drive which was okay, and no points a second. You had 3 points outside of that onside kick drive the entire second half. That's shocking against a defense that is 31st in the league. It can't get much worse. And don't even start me on the defense where Devontae Parker was made to look like DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas all rolled into one. Ronald Darby was being bullied more than I was in a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobby back in the day, and I had a high-pitched voice. Alright, that's saying a lot. Jalen Mills was then victimized as well, and Ryan Fitzpatrick helped the Dolphins offense tally 409 total yards. So everything we'd said about this defensive improvement in the last month, blow that away, straight out the window. No idea what's happened there. Peterson comes up and says, well, there's going to be no staff changes, no coaching changes. They don't need to make a statement. I beg to differ, Doug. I really beg to differ. Now, at this stage in the season, I don't think you can fire anyone, frankly, because if you fire Jim Schwartz, all that's going to happen is his little parrot Matt Burke's going to come up and go, squad, why nine? And if you fire Mike Groh, they're just going to promote Carson Walsh or Press Taylor, which isn't going to help anyone. Oh, they might give it to Juice Staley. don't, please, just keep him as a lovely, iconic Philadelphia human for as long as you can until you tarnish your reputation. Just let him be fine, alright? He's doing a great job with the run game. He's helping Miles Sanders develop. There are very few positional coaches on this roster who have done their job brilliantly right now. You can look at, I think, Jeff Stoutland is one of them. Juice Staley is another. Philip Daniels on the defensive line. Outside of that, I would say everyone, and I mean everyone, is up for debate as to how much you've actually given this team. The fact that there are so many problems, the fact that the defense is giving up stupid penalties, the fact the offense is giving up stupid penalties, all Matt Collins has done for a month is give up penalties, and he continues to get game time. It took 13 weeks of NFL scheduling to get JJ Arcega-Whiteside an NFL touchdown. I just genuinely don't know where the Eagles go from here, but if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm gunning for a mini rebuild. And you know what? Screw it now. Let's just go we're going rebuild at this point, okay? There needs to be some significant changes, and I mean top to bottom. We start with offensive coordinator. We look at wide receiver coach. It's no coincidence that in a season where the Eagles are squandering opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, that Howie Roseman has gone out and extended Lane Johnson, extended Brandon Brooks, knowing they've got Carson Wentz for 5 years. That buys them 4 years of that group staying together. You've got Andre Dillard on the left for 4 years. You've got Miles Sanders at running back for 4 more years. That gives you something to build. That's an offensive core in the trenches to build around, which is what we know the Eagles want to do. On defense, you've got Malik Jackson, who I know is injured. You've got Fletcher Cox. You're going to have Brandon Graham for a little bit. You're going to have a couple of the younger guys come through. They want to build the core through the trenches. Anyone else is expendable. And I'm talking wide receivers. I don't care that Alshon Jeffrey's money is guaranteed. At this point, you swallow the hit, you get him out of the building. If there is any even minor whiff of anonymous source stench coming out of his locker room, you get him out. If there are problems with chemistry and people not being bought in, you have to go full Seattle mode. The Seahawks had the same thing. You can go one of two ways with a Super Bowl. You go Super Bowl hangover, you go New England, which is you just carry on drinking and the party never ends. You do a Denver or a San Francisco, which is spontaneously combust. And the Eagles are stuck at a crossroads between a Seattle and a Denver and a San Francisco that will take another 3 or 4 years to rebuild. They've got to keep this Super Bowl window alive, and you're not going to do that if your free agency card is dreadful, your draft picks aren't being used until the very end of the season, and you've got constant noise from players in and out of the locker room talking trash about the quarterback, guaranteeing wins and then losing. Like, there is a complete culture difference. With the Eagles, that once you've hit the ultimate goal in your career field, which is a Super Bowl, what else is there to achieve? How can you keep that motivation as high as it was in a year where the world doubted you, no one believed in you, no one wanted you to succeed, and now you're going out and proving them wrong? If that disappears, you can't get that back now you've done it. You've proved them wrong once, and the only reason people are doubting you again now is because you're actually awful. That's not the world doubting you. That's you digging yourself a hole and the world accurately going, the Eagles have put themselves in a hole. So maybe it's a culture thing. Targets on the back didn't work. Accountability just isn't there right now. And it's easy. What do you want from a player to go, yeah, my bad, I got that penalty? You want to see change. You want to see some passion, some heart on the field. Someone get up in the face like Malcolm Jenkins to make a statement. And we're not seeing that. This Eagles team just doesn't have a heart right now. It doesn't have a pulse. They got complacent against the Miami Dolphins, which is a crime that's utterly unforgivable, I think. It really is unforgivable. That shouldn't ever be a thing. But here we are, and the only way to get out of this for the Eagles is a rebuild, in my opinion. You've got to start restocking the cupboard, get all of the out-of-date food out of the way, prepare for Christmas, and just get yourself a buffet, because you almost had it perfect this year. You let it combust. You've squandered opportunity. Just look forward and get past it now. What's amazing to me, though, that the Eagles have just as much chance to reach in the playoffs as Washington do overtaking them in the division. It's got to that point. If the Eagles only win one more game, and it's against Dallas, and Dallas lose all of their games, which is possible after their combustion, and Washington win out, the 3-9 Redskins make the playoffs. I don't know how much more I can stomach at this point. I really don't. But you know what won't let you down and disappoint you on a weekly basis? Philly Sports Network merchandise, which you can get down at the link in the description below. We've got new hoodies, we've got Christmas sweaters, we've got mugs, t-shirts, hoodies for cozy season. Again, a massive discount, $10 off your order if you use the code Christmas in capital letters. If you want to support the site, repping the brand is always a good way to do it. But on to the Philadelphia Flyers, though, and they've somehow come out of this week as the hottest team in Philadelphia. Although that's not hard. That's not difficult. They're on a 4-win streak, they're scoring for fun, and they're really making hockey fun. to say the least. I mean, you've got Carter Hart, who had a dramatically improved record through the month of November. He posted a 6-2-2 record, his save percentage up to .927. Meanwhile, Jake Voracek has 7 points in the last 5 games, so he is absolutely flying right now. The Flyers are just doing bits. Flyers capped off a historic month, which is brilliant for them. They're going in the right direction. Vigneault's culture, we know that as a head coach of a new team, he always tends to get the best out of his players in the long run, and I stand. If we get playoff hockey out of this year, maybe there's something to save 2019 just yet. As for the Sixers, they're also on a win streak. They're 3 wins in the backseat. Now they're turning around, they're looking at the Utah Jazz. They're 5th in the East. You've got James Ennis balling, you've got undrafted free agent Norvell Powell making a debut, Mike Scott and Matisse Thybulle are pretty much best friends for life, which is all you could ever want, and they're doing alright, the Sixers. I mean, I think their best basketball is ahead of them. They're certainly not playing to the ability we know they're all capable of, but they're doing well, and that's all that matters. But that is it for another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. From next week, we're going to have a very interesting new addition to the series, and one that everyone who's ever criticised the black background here, alright, you're going to love it. So stay tuned for that. From myself, Liam Jenkins, thank you for lending me your eyes and ears for 20 minutes. It really does mean a lot to me, and I'll see you next time.